it's very important that we spend some time, a little bit of time, thinking about how much value every one of you in this room has. How much value you have to yourself, how much value you have to your family, your friends, your school, your town, all of those places. And one of the things I want to start by talking a little bit about, because it kind of ties into all of this, and then we'll talk about you personally, is one of the ways that I think you probably already know that we measure the value of something is through money, right? You do a really good job, you do well educating yourself, you get a great job, one of the rewards is lots of money. You go to the store to shop, and you want to buy a certain kind of boots or a certain kind of bag, it costs a different price. So when we were here on Tuesday, we had a lot of the high school students here. We talked about the fact that Tuesday of this week was Pay Equity Day. Anybody know what that is?
Yeah.
What?
It's the fact that guys get paid more than girls.
That is right. Exactly right. Okay, did everybody hear that? So it talks about the value that we place on women's work. And the reason why Pay Equity Day is on Tuesday is because of this. How many people in this room have a woman that you love? Your mom, your grandmother, your aunts that work. How many people have somebody that they love that's a woman that works? Okay? All right, almost everybody. So what that means is that a man in the United States works from Monday to Friday, gets a certain amount of money. A woman has to work from Monday till the following Tuesday to make the same amount of money. So her 7 days of work equals a man's 5 days of work. And when you translate that into real dollars, for every $1 bill that a man makes, the woman standing beside him gets 77 cents. Now, have any of you ever been to the grocery store?
Yeah.
All right, well, did any of you ever see that something costs 77 cents for a woman and $1 for a man, the same thing?
No.
Right. So if you make 77 cents instead of $1, you can afford to buy less as a woman than you can as a man. And that's just not what you can buy at the grocery store. It's what you can buy everywhere. It's how you can support your kids. It's how you pay for your house. It's how you put gas in your car. You have less money to spend. So Pay Equity Day looks at making that fair. And another piece that goes along with money, which you're going to do some activities today about is, I'm guessing that all of you have seen paper money and used paper money, right? $1 bills and $5 bills and $10 bills. Have any of you ever seen a woman's face on those bills?
No.
That is because, despite the fact that more than half of the population of this country is women, not one piece of paper currency has the image of a woman being on it. So one of the other campaigns that's going on right now is called Women on 20. And it's a campaign to put a woman's face on the $20 bill. So we're going to show you a little bit later some of the clips that they made using little kids and looking at money. And what's happened because of this campaign is it started out there were 100 possible women. It's been narrowed down to 4. You're going to get a ballot a little bit later that the wonderful people in my office who do such great work have made a great ballot for you. Tells you who the 4 people are, tells you a little bit about each one of them. We're going to ask you to vote for who you think should be on the bill. At the end of today, we'll announce the results of that. When you go to lunch today down in the cafeteria where you were before, you're going to see a replica of a $20 bill with the space in the middle where the photo goes is open, so you can take pictures putting your own face in there. Okay? So it's going to be fun. The great students here at Nashoba made that for us, just as students across the county did those wonderful posters that you saw out in the hallway. There are also a group of young women in one of the high schools in this county who helped us. We have a campaign, a Safe Babies, Safe Kids campaign, that looks at the number of small children that die because they're placed unsafely in a place to sleep. They're either in a crib that has too many pillows and blankets, they're put down to sleep in the wrong position. So one of the things we are doing is we have a Safe Babies, Safe Kids campaign. We want to remind people how to put babies to sleep safely. So, using a book, anybody ever read the book Good Night Moon? All right, you'll see later, lots of the students using that book have done a great logo for us. And it's one that shows you on one side what you shouldn't do, and it shows on the other side what you should do to keep your baby safe. And we're going to be rolling that out, so pretty soon when you go to the grocery store, if you walk down the aisle where the baby cereal and fruit and all those things is, you'll see on the floor that logo. Because we want people, when they're there, whether you're the baby's mom and dad, or their grandparents, or the babysitter, and you go down that aisle, you'll see that logo. And it will remind you not to put a pillow under the baby's head, not to put a big blanket over the baby. So those are ways in which, across this county, students are helping us to keep people safe. And when we're done today, we're going to be asking you to go back to your school and talk about the pay equity, to talk about the Women on 20 campaign. We're going to ask you, and the DJ is going to explain to you later how to go on Twitter and hashtag what empowering girls and vote and put that out there. So that's a way that all of you today can help us. And when we think today about you being empowered and you getting to the very best place in your life, there's a couple of things we want you to always be remembering. First one is, how many people in this room this week were asked by somebody, their mom, their dad, their little brother, their little sister, their big sister, big brother, their grandmother, to do something to help them out? Right? Almost everybody. And I'm going to bet that many of you said yes to that. Whatever they needed you to do, walk the dog, help me with my homework, go get my glasses, whatever it was, you said yes to doing that. And when you say yes to that, it means that for however long it took you to do that, you weren't doing something you might have preferred to be doing. So you helped your brother or sister, and if that took a half an hour, that was a half hour that you didn't do something you wanted to be doing, right? And that's a good thing. We encourage people to be helpful, to do things for others. But as a prosecutor for a long time, what I've come to see is that lots of times girls and young women get themselves into very serious trouble because sometimes they're asked to do things that aren't good for them. Somebody wants them to do something. Come with me into the store, we're going to steal some of that stuff. Come with me to a party and people are going to be drinking. Do something that I want to do, which isn't good for you. And because we like to help people, or we want people to like us, very often people say yes to a question that should be no. And what they forget is how important choices are. How important it is to make a good choice. And that one of the ways to make a good choice, which is pretty easy, is when somebody's asking you to do something, first of all, just stop for a minute. Just stop. and think, who am I? What's my plan? Is doing or not doing whatever it is going to help me get to my plan? And is it good for me to do this? And then follow what you hear. And you know, an easy choice is you have a big test tomorrow. And it's in a class you really like. You want to do well. You want to be the person who gets a great score tomorrow. And a friend says to you today, oh, don't study. Just come on. It's a really nice day. It's been snowing for a long time. Let's go do something else. So you do that. And you kind of want it. Everybody wants to do what's more fun. And tomorrow, you don't do well. That's not a choice that moves you forward. And the other piece of that is, if you make a bad choice, and there isn't one person in this room, in this school, who hasn't made some bad choices. When you make the bad choice, don't make the choice worse. Now, I'll give you another example of that. We prosecuted a case not too long ago, involved a young girl, and she had gone to a party with a bunch of her friends. And when she got to the party, there was a lot of people drinking a lot. Now, it would have been a better choice if she didn't put herself there. But once she was there, it was then time to go home. And someone offered her a ride home, a friend of hers. And she said to her other friends, I don't really want to go with him because he's had too much to drink. I don't think he should be driving. But she got into the car with him anyway. And you probably know how this story is going to end. They were driving home, they were really close to her house, and there was a terrible accident. And she and the other passenger were killed. The person who was driving the car was arrested and prosecuted. That's an example of making a bad choice and then making it so much worse. Because she said to her friends, I don't want to go with him, but I don't want to call my mother because she's going to be really mad. And her mother, if my daughter called me in that circumstance, I'd be kind of mad too. But I would be so much happier that she was safe. So try to make a good choice. Take the time to think about that. If you make a bad choice, there's always time to go back from that and not make it worse. And the third thing to be thinking about is, I want you to think for a second of something that you are really good at. Whatever it is. It might be schoolwork, it might be drawing, it might be singing, it might be sports. But everybody in here is really good at something. But probably, if I stood up here and I said, please raise your hand if you are really good at whatever you're good at. How many people would raise their hand and say, I'm the very best? That would be no one, okay? Because we don't do that. Women tend not to do that. But if I asked you to think about your very best friend and what she's good at, I bet you would tell me that. I bet you would tell me she's my friend and she's really good at whatever it is. And what I hope you're going to see today is that it's not bragging to know you're good at things. It's not being conceited to think, I'm really good at whatever, and that's what I'm going to want to do a lot of, and let people see how good I am at that. That is being empowered. That's realizing the talents that you have and using your talents for yourself and to help other people. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit at the end of today, and what I hope you will have learned by then is how important you are. How important it is to think about that when you're making a choice. What great talents you have. And how important it is that you help to make the world fair by using those talents in the very, very best way that you can. So I hope you loved today. I hope you enjoyed everything you're going to be doing. I look forward to taking pictures with you today and watching you dance to some of the songs we're going to play later. And I want to thank you and all of the people from your school who made it possible for you to be here today. Thank you so much.